The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent, including Olas Media.
Olas Media.
The equation is simple. Successful elections equal most people voting minus two-party partisan bullying. The Independent Voter Project takes this belief to the airwaves on the Independent Voter Podcast. Follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I am your host, Mr. Wowzer. We are the Doty Connection. Today, we are going to be talking about some very, very deep topics that I feel is going to touch your soul, as well as recommend you to some great products from Cold Fire Extracts and True Classics, True OG. Trust me, it's going to hit you hard.
Wow.
Anyere and Wagwama share Panya Ras class and Bamba class. I am your host, Mr. Wowzer. Wow. You can hear it in my voice. I'm very excited about my special guest that I do have today. But first, huge shout out to my sponsors, Cold Fire Extracts. What up, IBC Media, Olas Media, March and Ash. I'm going to take it to one of my singles from a project, Anunnaki Wowzer, that's on all platforms. It's called Enlil. Shout out to my Anunnaki guys. Let's go.
Slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? This that slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? Get it up, I'm gonna get it up. Don't drop your bag around me, I'm gonna pick it up. Roll around with jab boys, all them niggas sticking up. Girl, it's just a California thing, are you picking up? If she throw her hips my way, I'ma swing it. Living by the ocean, got a nigga dick dangling. Left this bitch wide open, so I had to take it. Tell me that her G needs to reshape and shape. This that slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? This that slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? Slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? This that slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? This that slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up? This that slump, make you wanna nut, make your bass shake, roll, little West Coast funk. What's up?
And you hear it in the calls. We'll take it to a Wowzer word, and we'll be back with our special guest after this.
Cold Fire Extracts.
It's amazing.
The taste is great, clean and pure. It's loud like flowers, super tasty.
It has great effects and a long-lasting buzz.
This is why Cold Fire is the #1 go-to vape in the cannabis space.
Cold Fire Extracts scored a high 95 from the highestcritic.com.
Because of its standard of greatness in every category, even compared to solventless.
This is almost equalish, but it is definitely better than solventless. Go ahead and light up that Cold Fire Extracts.
I'm smoking it right now.
Go and light it up. Ooh, wow. Queen Mary's Boost Elixir. Elixir for Vixen, Theme for a king. Boost Elixir is a coffee tincture with added vitamin D infused with THCV that brings you an energizing euphoria that keeps you alert, motivated, and ready to take on the world. This espresso infused elixir serves as a coffee enhancer, providing an enhanced focus. It also boosts your metabolism. Top reported effects are alertness, motivation, energy, and enhanced focus.
Queen Mary's products can be used in a supplement regimen.
So how you would use it is Queen Mary's Boost Elixir in the morning, Enchanted gummies throughout the day, and at nighttime Moonstruck gummies to have a nice and refreshed sleep.
For more information about Queen Mary and their products,
go to their website, queenmarybrand.com. Hello. Hello. Wow, you know it's that time.
It's time for our special guest.
Hello, yes, Lord. Welcome back to TDOC. I am Mr. Wow. Now, my special guest specializes in 420 yoga, health and wellness, and a lot of other things. After talking with her offline and hearing her story, especially coming from the Bahamas, I was intrigued. I was like, we need to have your story on air. We need to go ahead and talk about health and wellness and the importance of that. And we need to, let me go ahead and introduce my guest, Onyeka Tefari.
Hey.
How you doing today, girl?
I am well.
The drive was good,
much.
right?
It was very quick, yes.
Hey, not too far. So let's go ahead and get to the meat of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how was growing up in the Bahamas for you?
Growing up in the Bahamas was amazing. Word. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to, but I mean, based on what I remember from my childhood, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of scavenging for fruits and vegetables because that was our pastime. You know, you go out explore and then you just find whatever fruit. I grew up, I would say, in the boondocks area of my island.
Nice.
And so that afforded us a lot of freedom in the sense of my parents were like, yeah, go and explore and find things and figure it out. And then come home before it's dark. So
dang, street lights still was the rule. Huh?
It was.
Oh my God. Make sure you make it before the street lights come on.
Except we didn't have street lights. It was like before sunset.
Easy killer. I gotta ask personally, mango? Was that one of the fruits?
Yes, but we had mango trees.
Okay.
In my yard, yeah, we had mango trees. So.
I love me. You know, of course, you know why. Yes, it's in my blood. I love me some mangoes. Would you say that the Bahamas has a lot of similarities to certain cities like San Diego in the States?
No, I mean, I can't see too many similarities in regard, because I grown up in the Bahamas. Everyone, I mean, this is my experience, right? So coming here to San Diego, I'm not that close with my neighbors, or they don't seem to be very, it's kind of like everyone stay to themselves. They don't really look out for each other. But back home, it was, if someone's coming through your street or through your corner, it's kind of like everyone's looking out. They're looking out for the kids. They're looking out for your business. They're supportive. I'm not saying people aren't supportive here, but it was very different because it felt more close-knit. It could be because we were fewer people.
Right. But it also sounds a lot more community-oriented. Of course, out here it's really, separated. You got to, engage community.
Yeah, you have to find your community here.
Right.
And kind of like when I grew up, your community was everywhere, no matter where you went. So if you moved to another part of the country or another island, they welcomed you. They were like, hey, let me show you how to get around. Right. But even just coming to the U.S., it was like, you better figure this out or...
or else. Yeah. So it makes me want to track to your passion now. So what brought you to computer science in the Bahamas?
So in the Bahamas, one of the things that they implemented at the school that I was in, high school, was that they wanted to give us opportunities to try out different careers. And so that started from 10th grade and beyond. So you didn't get stuck doing something or finding out later on oh, this isn't what I wanted to do.
Right, they gave you choices.
Right, and so part of that was internships. And so initially I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. And then they gave me an internship at the hospital in the surgical ward. And I was like, this is not for me, right? So then I said, okay, I'm going to be a veterinarian. And so then they gave me an opportunity to work on a farm. And so I worked with livestock, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is not it for me either.
Really?
And so then I was like, well, let me go try something else. I was like, okay, I'll try being in our defense force, like the Navy type thing. And before I could go there, it was an opportunity to work at this bank in the computer science, like in the computer department, like in their IT department.
Nice. At a bank?
So, yeah, at a bank.
Wow.
So yeah, it was one opportunity, and that's another thing. Going back to your previous question, there's a lot of opportunities in San Diego. So you have all of that. Back home is a little bit like the top is the only one who's going to get that one option or that one opportunity that's there. So likewise, there was an opportunity at a bank to work in the IT department, and it's everyone in my graduating class competing for this one opportunity.
Wow.
And so I was like, well, I wasn't honestly, I was not considering it seriously. And then some of the other, mean girls in the school were like, you couldn't get it even if you wanted to. And I said, you're only going to get it if I don't apply.
That boy. Matter of fact, I'm going to apply just to show you.
So just so you can see, I'm not talking nonsense.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and apply for this position. So I applied, and now one of the things that's big also with my family is if you say you're going to do something, you need to follow through. So I applied out of, I don't know, emotions. Like, I'm going to apply so y'all can't even get this. And then I got it, and it was like, computer science, like, really?
That's a big accomplishment.
So I got the internship, and then that turned out to be, they gave me like full scholarship for university, and then I left there to come to the United States to continue my
your education, which was going to be my next question. I wanted to ask about the moment that you decided to further your education, but I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't know that it was a top dog spot in the Bahamas. I really didn't know that. Yeah. You would think it wouldn't be like that because that's all there. You know what I'm trying to say? You think America would be like that, honestly, because you got to fight for everything. But Bahamas, we need to pick it up. You too, Jamaica. Now, so you come to the States. Computer science is your background, of course, right? You got the scholarship. So what motivated your passion with wellness and health? So
I completed my master's in computer science, and I worked for several major companies. And that afforded me the opportunity to work with other major companies, like as their clients. So, for example, one of the companies I work for, their customers aren't like people who walk on the street. It's more like the Google, the Apples. Like those are the customers for that company that I was working for.
Oh, wow. Big accounts.
Right. And so obviously there's going to be a lot of stress associated with the type of projects that we have to complete. And then there's like high SLAs. Like if you mess up, it's not a couple thousand, it's a couple millions of dollars that you're messing up with. So the stress level for myself and my team was pretty high. Right? If you mess up, am I going to get a job? Like, who am I going to go look for work for? I was going to say, no, you just messed us up over here. You think we're going to bring you over?
Right.
So it was kind of stressful, and I was noticing it with my team that everyone's kind of stressed out. So I said, hey, we need to chill. I'm from the Bahamas, and we do chill. Right. So I was like, we need to chill, and so I said, let's all meditate. Let's go and do some meditation. We should do this every day. And everyone was on board, and I was like, well, so who knows how to meditate? And everyone on the team was quiet. Okay, I'll go learn how to do that, and then I'll come back. And that was kind of like the doorway or the opening for me, the gateway for me to actually get more into health and wellness, because it went from becoming yoga registered to becoming massage therapist certified to becoming lymphedema specialist to becoming an esthetician. So it's like a lot of things kind of rolled after I kind of just took that step towards let's not stress so much.
That's very so. Okay, I gotta ask this off because that's very interesting. So, what feeling came over you when you meditated for the first time and you figured it out? Because obviously it motivated all those other actions, but what was the feeling? Like, what emotion pulled out of you?
I don't know if I can describe it as an emotion. The first time I tried meditation, I was like, what is this, honestly? I was like, this project is new and I'm over here sitting down.
In my head.
I was all in my head. But at some point, there was this moment of absolute peace and bliss. And it was, wow, what is this? I asked, like, what is this? And then not immediately, but soon after, when someone tried to stress me out or tried to put a pressure on me, I was like, you will not upset my peace. I know what this tastes like now. And so it's kind of like that experience of peace and happiness and contentment with myself and where I'm at and what I'm doing was what led me like, let me keep going down this path, because this is definitely something that I think it was also kind of nostalgia in a way for my childhood, because there was no stress put on us in the sense of like, hey, this is where you're at, this is where you want to go to, and do what you need to do to get there, but don't over stress it, you know. And so for me, that was, it was just like feeling that first taste of peace for me.
Damn, that's deep. The way you explained it sound like it's an entirety. It wasn't just a moment and you had to chase that moment of peace again. Kind of like happiness. You know, happiness is so quick. We happy now, then we got to chase it again.
And that's the thing. I think people think of peace as you don't have anything else going on with you. And for me, I mean, there's a lot of things that's always happening with me, but I always go back to, I am where I am. Things are happening for a reason. Even if I don't understand it, I'm okay with what's happening right now. And it's just something that I can change about it. Because if I can't change it, I'm like, well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, that. No, you ain't lying. Yeah, that. Damn, you answered my other question. So, what made you start 420 Yoga? And what made you make it invitation only?
Okay, yes. So I used to work with another group.
Okay.
And they were doing what they called like Sensi Yoga, 420 Yoga, Ganja Yoga. They were calling it something. And so they asked me like would I like to lead the classes? And I said, yeah, sure, it's not a problem. So I started looking at like if someone is in an elevated state, how do I make sure that, because some yoga poses will take you straight out. Like really? You're not going to be feeling like the high and the whatever you're going to feel. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to let you get in an inversion and you're going to hold this, or you're going to be in some strenuous pose. So I started looking at different poses that we could do together. And so the first session, I really got like a lot of feedback, like how people felt like they were in another plane from the session. And so it was like, oh, this is really nice. I enjoyed it. And then for whatever reason, they had stopped their sessions of 420 Yoga. And I said, well, I'm going to pick it up because I enjoyed 420 Yoga. I enjoyed instructing. I enjoyed the conversation that happened afterwards. I enjoyed hearing what other people's experiences after the sessions. And so we continued that, and we started adding on like sound baths and other things to kind of like enhance to take it to another level.
Right.
So I decided to make it invitation only.
Please explain.
Because so I used to teach it in my garden. And my garden is a very sacred place. Just like how I like to protect my peace, my garden is a place for refuge for everyone who comes into my garden. Even the birds, like my garden is like a sanctuary for birds. They come in every morning. They get some free food and some free bugs if they want it.
Free on the bugs. Right. I'll leave a tip.
My pets and my pups, they get to go into the garden and roam about. They eat the Swiss chard. I'm like, why are we eating my chard, right?
Right.
But like they go and they eat different things from the garden. I share it. And then for some of the parts of the garden where people tend to be like, oh, there's bugs. I'm like, it's okay. You know, they have the lower leaves. I get the upper leaves. It's okay. We share it. And so I like to maintain that type of peace and that give and take with each other in the environment. Like I give to you and you give to me. I take from you, take from me.
Right.
And I feel that anyone who's going to practice yoga, regardless if it's 420 or not, your experience should be one where you feel like this is your practice and you're safe and you are having the most enjoyable experience as you can have, as someone can help you, guide you through. And there was a session where I used to have it very open, like, come on in, you know. And that was when we initiated the vibe check, because some people could not pass the vibe check.
Southeast start pulling up in their mouth.
I mean, it's okay. They're okay. I honestly, like, that wasn't even, like, where they were pulling up from. It was more along the lines of, instead of focusing on themselves, they started focusing on what others were doing in the class. So if we said, okay, we're going to go ahead and get into like Proud Pigeon, for example, which is a pose. not everyone can get into
Proud pigeon?
Yes.
Okay.
Not everyone can get into that pose. And so
I'm going to look that up while you're talking. I want to see how that looks.
And it's a matter of like maybe their knees, they have an injury with their knee or so and so forth.
Right.
Or sometimes people don't know how to like be in alignment with their hips. And so they're kind of like falling off to the side or whatever.
Oh, God.
Right. So
That's
it's
what
like,
y'all were doing?
Right. So it really, it feels great though. If they can get into that pose, I usually provide like, here's an alternative to that pose. But someone at the session was kind of like, you can't even get into that pose. Why are you doing yoga?
Oh, wow.
Right. Or you're too big to be doing yoga. And
You're talking about to your...
Right. So we're all on a mat, and afterward, I usually have like conversations and have discussions afterwards.
Right.
And then the person just was very negative. And so, I would correct and say, yoga is for everyone. There isn't a certain look. There isn't a
size.
Yeah, there isn't. You don't even need a yoga mat. You can bring a towel. You can just do straight on the grass. It doesn't matter. But for someone to take, and I feel people do this where, in order for them to feel good about themselves, they have to put someone else down.
Belittle somebody.
And I was like, not in my space, though. You don't do that. So you're going to find out real quick, like from the Bahamas,
Yeah,
accent going to come out of this. Like,
that rage start.
Hey,
Caribbean
like,
strength is a motherfucker. My mom always told me that. You never know it until you shake. Why are you so strong? I don't even say I'm Caribbean. Sorry.
Yeah,
But,
so I made an invitation only. Also, there's this I don't know. There are people who will see the announcement like, hey, we're having 420 yoga, and then they want to just disturb the space, even though it has nothing to do with them. They will say, let's go ahead and call this person and say they're having something, whatever, and then the next thing you know, you're like, do you have a warrant? You're not invited. So. So I mean, it's just
like why you really in here? Right?
Yeah,
he come in here with a bottle and a shot, posted on the side like it's the. Yo, she can't do that right. Yo, why she doing a pose like that? I'm like,
right.
on,
so we do a vibe check, and anyone who's invited, they get to invite someone else to 420 yoga. But if they don't pass the vibe check, or the person they invite don't pass the vibe check, they'll be told, hey, you get one more chance, but you're not going to be allowed to invite others to the session anymore because you don't understand the vibe we're trying to create here. So people take it very seriously.
Right, and I'm glad you do. This is peace, tranquility, chakra realignment. It's, when I think about yoga, I think about all the things you're talking about, peace and, recentering myself. So to see somebody try to disrupt energy vampires, what my mother calls them, I think we all do. When an energy vampire comes in, right. Acting like old man Jenkins, then you got to bop.
Yep.
So I'm glad you do the vibe checks. And for my listeners, could you tell them about your nonprofit organization?
Oh, yeah. So my nonprofit organization is called Akawati Incorporated.
Akawati.
Yeah. And Akawati means my sisters. And so it was started back in, I want to say 2012, 2013. At that time, that was like a really hard time in my life personally. And so, I mean, I was just want to watch an anime. I won't lie. I was just like,
pat yourself on the back. I love me some anime.
And I mean, that's not bad.
No,
but
it's not.
It's like.
But when you ain't doing shit, yeah.
Right. I mean, so I caught myself being in this cycle of, I'm just going to sit here and watch anime and be down about a situation that I had limited control over. And so back to, I want peace, and I say I don't want anything to upset my peace. I said, okay, let me go and figure something out. When I help others, I feel better. Let me go help some other people. And so I decided I'm going to call all my friends, and we're going to go ahead and put together some hygiene packages for the homeless here in San Diego. And so I went and I called all my friends from college. I was like, hey, send me $10, because $10 at the dollar store, you can pick up like 10
that's
items in the pack, right? So, and I thought I was doing something. I was like, oh yeah, I have like 50 packs that I'm going to be giving out. And so I called the police department because they were criminalizing helping the homeless in some cities. Right. I didn't know. Like, I'm not trying to get locked up for helping people, but I just want to make sure. Right. So I called the police department, and they said, how many packages you have? I was like, 50. And they said, that's it? And I was like, what you mean that's it? And they said, who all gonna be there with you? And I was like, what do you mean who all gonna be there with me? And they said, you got bodyguards? And I was so terrified. Like, I was like, wow, so we're gonna get attacked for giving out stuff, right? And so I called my girlfriends. She was like, okay, I'll go with you. I was like, just us girls. So here's what we're going to do. We made a plan. You got a taser though, right?
Yeah, you better have a blower on you. Talking about just us girls? Yeah. You're going downtown.
But we had a plan. We were like, we're going to park far away from where they are.
Right.
And then we're going to like take what we have, kind of throw it and run away, right? Because we were expecting, like, the zombie apocalypse, like, you all don't have enough, we're going to attack you. Yeah, right? So this is after my conversation with the police department. So we pulled up, and I pulled up, like, on 16 and Island or something, like, center of East Village. At the time, it was, like, a lot of, like, encampments over there. Right. And so I pulled up, opened the back of my car, and everyone swarmed in. Whoosh. I was like, oh my God, girl, I think we parked at the wrong place, but at this point it's too late, right? So we're giving out the stuff, and as we're getting down to the last few items, I'm like, oh God, what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do?
50.
Right? Yeah, 50, and it went quickly. And we were down to like the last 5, and I was like, who's going to give the last one? Because now you have to tell the next person we don't have any more. And I dreaded that. And so when we got to the person, I was like, the first person to not have any, we don't have any more. They were like, thank you so much for coming out and thinking of us and bringing these things for us. And I was like, this is not what I was told would happen. And then on our drive back home from giving out everything, it was quiet. There was silence in the car. Because, I mean, for me, I was doing some self-reflection, like, how could I think that people who were helping would actually attack us for helping them and not having enough, right? And then I started to think, how many other people think that this is what their experience would be like when helping people who need housing? And so I said, well, let's do this again. And so I was like, my friends were like, listen, we tired of hitting us up for $10, like.
You keep hitting us
like,
up,
I was like,
I'm gonna ask you for
$20
like,
till I get my check next week,
right? Like,
so I was like, well, we could try and do a nonprofit and then get funding or get grants for this type of thing. And so we did that, and we got approved for the nonprofit. And so the reason we chose my sisters is because I see everyone has a mom. And that mom is my sister.
Oh, my
and so
God.
I can't be there, like she can't be there for her child for whatever reason.
Right.
But I can be there for my sister's child. And so that is how we came up with Akawati, and we still do the hygiene products. We do school supplies drives. This year we're working on a new venture, which is empowerment through pampering. And the idea is to help those women who face homelessness because of domestic violence or some violence done against them, and empowering them with pampering. So, trauma-informed touch, whether it's massage or whether it's a facial or whether it's like a yoga session where they do get some like Thai massage done on them. But giving them like, you are a person, we see you, and we're here to support you in the way that we can.
Damn, that's beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Before I get to my next question on paper, because you lived in the Bahamas that was very community oriented, do you think that's something that just instilled in your subconscious and your conscious throughout time? Because it seems like since then, even now with your nonprofit, you're still very community based to your garden, in a wide array, not just the people that live there. I'm talking about from bugs to plants to birds. Do you think that's something that just instilled in you from then? Or have you realized that?
I never thought of it as something that was instilled in me. But then, when I think about it, yes, my grandmom, but I hear everyone else, grandmom was the house where people came for food. It's not something that's just in the Bahamas.
Until she got a little too old and the chicken you open and you're like, Grandma, you getting old, huh? Yeah, this chicken is red. And sorry, Grandma, I had to. I love you.
But your mom's house was the house people went to, or there was a house in your neighborhood that you can always go to for refuge. And I think it's something that's that's handed down or that's in our DNA as people of African descent. It's very community oriented in other parts of Africa that I visited as well. And so I don't know that it's so much that this is how I was raised as someone, this is in my DNA, and there's no running away from it, or there's no desire to run away from it. You know, it's just like you said, you have to find your community, and when you do, you just put as much into it because you want to support and uplift.
What does self-sufficiency mean to you?
Self-sufficiency, that means I don't need nothing from nobody else to survive. And I mean, that's every aspect of survival. Can I dig a hole and plant a tree? Do I even know how to prepare a seed to plant a tree or plant any type of food? Can I find clean water if none is around? Can I make clean water out of the supplies that I have? Do I collect enough water right now? Because if for whatever reason we don't get water, do we have water, right? That's the essential of life.
Big time.
Do I have the things, or do I have what's needed for me to emotionally support myself, to mentally support myself and those who rely on me? Do I have a support group? I mean, am I able to support them? I mean, if you look at me or if you come to my place, you will see just about almost, there's tropical fruits, there's so many things. I have bananas, papaya, I have mango, I have peach, I have kale, collards, bell peppers, onions. I mean, I just have everything, a whole gamut of everything. I can make a salad. The only thing I don't have is chicken. But I don't eat eggs, so. But it crossed my mind, you know. Yeah. But I mean, I feel that self-sufficiency is being able to support yourself, one, on a physical level, like you can survive and have life. And then on top of that, emotionally. Like, are you able to self-correct? Are you able to take a look and say, hey, that was whack. What did you do that for? Or why are you processing the information you're receiving the way that you are? Because if you're physically provided for, but emotionally you're messed up, like you can't even, you'd stop eating because I'm so stressed out I can't eat. I'm so stressed out I can't sleep. You know, so you're not feeding yourself.
Damn, that's deep.
So
it doesn't just talk about self-sufficiency and finances, then it also talks about emotionally as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Damn, that's deep. And
then also, can you find yourself out of the country? Because, I mean, let's face it, if something happens, we're right by the border. Do you even know how to navigate?
Through there, yeah. You're right. Dang. All right. Okay. Damn, I'm feeling like, what's his name? Real talk, because it's like you just blown me away. All right. So what's next for Tefari?
So what's next for us at Onyeka Tefari? So like I mentioned, we started Lymphedema Clinic. And so lymphedema is an issue that I think is going to be blowing up a lot. It's probably already blown up to an extent, but it's going to be something that's on the rise here, just around the United States and other places. Cancer is on the rise. And typically the treatment for cancer in the United States is to remove the cancer, remove some lymph nodes that's nearby. And when they start removing lymph nodes, we do not regrow lymph nodes at all. And so,
what is that for my listeners?
So we have an immune system. Okay. And in our immune system, we have lymph nodes. And one of the functions of the lymph nodes is to take anything that's brought to it and kind of clean it out, cycle it out, and put it back for either reabsorption into the body or spit it out of the body because it's no good. So at any given point, we all have some cancer cells running around in our body. The lymph nodes take it in, say, okay, this is cancer, go ahead and clean this up or get rid of it, so we're good. But if we are inundated with cancer, the lymph nodes become cancerous. And so that's, because it's our lymphatic system, it's spreading everywhere else in our body quickly. And so then you see like mastocyzed cancer going here or there. And so one of the ways that they treat it is they're like, let's take out these, they do a sentinel node. So they say, let's see where this dye goes first. And then that's probably where the cancer went to first, based on how your lymphatic system or how your fluids flow. They take that out, and then they say these ones were found to have cancer also in them, so they take those out. And so lymph nodes don't regrow. We don't regrow lymph nodes. And so when they take out a lymph node, whichever quadrant of your body need those lymph nodes to kind of filter through the fluid that you have, the lymphatic fluid that you have, it can't move it anymore. It doesn't have a way to process it out of your system. So then you start to see like, oh, there's swelling in my arm and hands. There's swelling in my legs. There's swelling in my neck and face. There's like, you will see the swelling based on where.
I've seen it. My immediate family, I have.
Right.
And we didn't know why.
Right, and it's not a condition that there's no cure for it. So you only can manage it because it's progressive and it's chronic. And so unfortunately, cancer is on the rise, and because of the way that they currently treat it, you're also going to see a rise in lymphedema. Like if they took out a lymph node, you are at 90% chance of probably having lymphedema. It may not show right away, but you're going to see in a year or two, you're going to see now, hey, I feel heaviness, I feel tightness in my arm. The joke that we have that I see online when it's around Thanksgiving time, they say, if you see someone making the potato salad with this arm, that means they can cook.
Oh my, yeah, I've seen that.
But when I look at that arm, I said, that looks like somebody with lymphedema.
Oh, wow.
Right. It can also be obesity induced because you put so much strain on the areas where the lymph nodes are. So like, for example, if you have a big gut, you have a big gut, your inguinal, so that's like where your legs join at your groin, right? So if you have a big gut, then it's going to sit on there and it's going to compress it, so the lymph that's having to come from your feet up are no longer moving. It's not able to get past there, so now you have swollen legs, swollen feet. You could have just venous insufficiency, so you have poor circulation anyway.
Right.
And so when you keep having stress on your lymphatic system, at some point it's just like we give up, we can't do anything anymore. And so we started our Lymphedema Clinic because I feel like it is a condition that most people don't really know about. When you're going through the throes of cancer, they mention it to you, right? Oh, you might have lymphedema after we finish what we're going to do with you, but it's manageable. But people don't really understand what that is. And then when they've gone through and they've somehow survived cancer treatments and everything else, now you have this chronic condition that you're having to deal with, and
the rest of your life now.
Yes,
it's progressive,
and it's a very difficult condition to have. I mean, not on the physical side of it. It's like the emotional and the mental side of it. You know, I had a client once say to me, if I had to go through cancer again or the cancer treatment again without having lymphedema, I would take cancer any day. That is how difficult lymphedema management is in her experience for it. And I've seen it, and it's like, yeah, this is very difficult. I'm
gonna take you guys' word for it. It blew me away just you talking about it. Like, it makes a lot of sense too with being young, seeing my grandma eat some Chinese food and her foot blows up like a balloon, and we're all, what's going on? And I'm scared of doctors because of that. My grandma went through traumatic things, they're drug dealers. And I just seen all the medications that my grandma's a sick baby myself. So just seeing her go through the ringer, and even now, just my grandma used to say, Deontay, put your hands on my belly, to warm them up. You know what I mean? It's like, I just seen it deteriorate her to this little woman now. And
yeah, it's rough, and having a good support system is important. And at Onyeka Tefari, like I like to say, we're a brand that cares. So we're not just here saying, oh yeah, come and get these treatments and then go by, you're on your way.
Yeah, bye.
Right.
Like
no.
a doctor.
No, like we sit down and we talk to you about what it is that's going on with you. We try to give you information about what you're seeing in you. If you have questions, or even we will say, hey, go and check this out with your doctor. Right? Ask these questions. And so we sit down, like, what are your concerns? Now, here's what we're seeing in our treatment with you. And here's some questions that you should be asking. And one of my clients, she was like, would you be willing to come with me to my doctor's appointment? Because I don't feel confident enough to ask these questions. And it's really sad, right? That this is your doctor who should be working with you and trying to give you the best possible outcome, but you're not comfortable having this conversation with them, and of course we were like, yeah, of course we'll go with you. It's not a problem to go with you if that's going to bring you some comfort, because it's a little thing that you can do to help somebody out.
Right.
Like, it doesn't take anything from me to say, okay, I'll show up and we'll go.
Right, and help it smooth it out.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I want to thank you for literally teaching all of us a lot about health and wellness. We're going to take it to our segment, Topics and Solutions. Right, you're going to join us for that? We'll be right back after that.
Tuesday, no tax. Tuesday, no tax. Picking up on the theme yet? Visit any March and Nash location and you can really find out what I'm talking about. No tax. Tuesday, no tax. Tuesday, To learn more, visit marchinash.com.
It's cool time. Tavares Jordan.
Topics and solutions.
Welcome back to TDOC. I am your host, Mr. Wow. Back with my special guest, Tefari. Topics and solutions. Of course, again, I give topics, we give opinions, and then we give solution-based odds, okay? So the dangers of synthetic cannabinoids, I've been talking about this past and prior episodes, just bringing big awareness on this, is dummy rock cannabis. Fake hemp nugs is pretty much sprayed with THC, acetone. And so sometimes packaged as e-juice for vaping and as edibles. Most synthetic cannabinoids are sold as dry plant materials sprayed with acetone, embalming fluids, or other solvent-laced lab-made psychoactive substances. It's not just a U.S. problem. This has become an international problem with data that lists at least 320 different synthetic cannabinoids sold on the illegal market as of February 2022. It's a big problem. The reason why is because where I used to work on the other side of the tracks, that's all we sold, and we were zombied out. Complete zombies. Scratch your neck if you didn't have it.
Oh, wow.
Felt weird, and we thought we were smoking prime medicinal weed. I started working at March and Ash. Changed, like my whole chakra literally realigned. Like,
Wow.
it's crazy. So how do you feel about that? How would you feel if you picking up for me? I give you this, you go somewhere. Now you blitzed out your mind like you didn't even hit no weed, like you just hit some crackers on me.
Yeah, I would not appreciate that, actually. It feels unethical.
Unethical.
To say, hey, here's a product, and we know all of the medicinal benefits of marijuana and of hemp and so forth. And we know what it can do for our entire system. But if you're going to just throw acetone, you're going to throw embalming fluid over it or whatever psychoactives over
They're throwing in
it.
fentanyl too.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
I mean, you have to wonder, are they doing it so that they can make you addicted to it so that you have to keep coming to get a fix, but you have to get like a higher fix each time? What's the reason behind it? But I would be very upset.
I got one. I know one of the reasons is the prices in the legal industry, which makes it sound like a drug game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this dealer's selling too high, so I'm going to go to this guy that's selling for $10. It's still good.
No.
What KP said on my episode, it's cheaper. It doesn't mean it's healthier.
No.
Stupid. For real. So we got some solutions, right? Make sure you're getting safe and tested cannabis products from a legal retailer. We just spoke about that. Kids have been using edibles, marijuana from their parents' stash, and it's been illegal, of course, products, 400 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams in a 6-year-old.
Oh, wow.
I know. I can't even, because I got babies, I can't even think about that. So if you see your child with candies or snacks in your house, anywhere, double check the packaging. And do not support unregulated cannabis. How do you feel about those solutions?
I think those are great and effective. But parents have to, or anyone who's consuming and kids have access to anything that they have, they need to verify like what they're buying, right? Like, imagine like your teen is getting curious about, oh, this is a gummy, or a kid like, it's a gummy, let me go ahead and eat this.
1,000 milligrams in there.
But of course, like there's the other things that's laced in there, right?
So
It's
that's
not
the thing.
just
Good
like
job. Yeah, it's not just that.
like now they're dealing with the high of having marijuana. Now there's other things that's going on with them, right? And as we already know, like our frontal lobe isn't developed until like we're like 25 or something. What is it doing? What is it doing to an adult, much less a child? But something.
Yeah, go ahead, preach. Yeah, talk that. Because you said something that a lot of people skim over. It's not just high elevated THC levels. It's these other things that they're taking. Acetone, embalming fluid. I seen a report the other day. I'm not going to do an insider like that, BP. But I did get an insider. We tested some shit. It's fentanyl.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. All types of like mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So, yeah, don't do that, okay, people? And you're hearing it from somebody who was on the corner.
But this is very like, I didn't know this. I mean, I've heard of people be like, oh, don't get GMO weed or something like that. You know what? But I didn't pay attention to it.
Right.
I had no clue. Like, there was all this other stuff going on on top of it.
What?
Right.
Look,
So
in 2012, when you was watching anime, I was in the streets, okay? Homeless and all that. Smoking K2. So it's like, you look at that, and it's like coming back full circle, being able to really put the word out there about this. We're in a different time now.
Yeah.
We're in a different time now. Dummy rock cannabis. I just never thought I would see this. I just never thought. But it's always a way to do something, right? They did it with alcohol back then. So the importance of health and wellness. Next topic. Staying healthy and well is important. It makes us feel better, be more productive, and ultimately live longer. Health is the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Wellness is an active process, though, that's through people, which make them become more aware of, make choices towards a more successful existence. Excuse me. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yes, that's absolutely it.
It's everything you covered pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. I think people think of wellness as a destination. It's a journey. And it incorporates, or it encompasses more than just how do I look, right? Do I look like I'm slim? You can be slim and fat, you know?
Yeah. Slim and out of shape too.
Right,
I've seen a lot of that.
You could appear, or you can present yourself as, I'm the happiest, wholest person, but you go home and you feel empty and alone. Like, I don't even know if alone is the word. Like, you feel isolated. You feel, you just don't, but you're out here, throwing out this, hey, I'm like the most healthiest person in the world, and listen and follow me.
Right.
But you're empty and sad inside, you know.
Go back home quiet.
Yeah. But like, you're not true to who you don't even know who you are to be true to yourself.
Damn.
Like, you don't know who you are. You just say, okay, this is what people expect of me, so this is how I'm going to act and behave. And then, but you don't know who you are, right? You don't know anything about yourself. You don't care to find out about, okay, what in my family line, or what trauma in my family line brought me here. Right. And it's not just like, okay, this happened to my mom, this happened to my grandma. Like, how far back can you go to learn, like, okay, where are we from?
Right, ancient ancestry.
Right. And what are some ways that they manage health in their community? And I don't know if I have time, but I can, like, there was this opportunity. I went to the Gambia last year, and there was this concept of the Bantaba. And the Bantaba is where it's like a gathering of people. And so the elders would gather. And so if you had an issue, so if me and you have an issue, like we didn't agree on something and we couldn't come to terms with it, instead of me having beef with you, and now I'm just going to try and destroy anything that you're trying to create. You're trying to destroy anything that I'm trying to create, or any success or progress we're making. We go to the elders. And in this Bantaba, they say, okay, all the elders come and sit around the tree. They come and say, okay, let's hear what your problem is. Let's hear what your problem is. They offer solutions to you. You agree to those solutions. And then part of being in the Bantaba is you don't talk what happened in the Bantaba, right? So the elders aren't allowed to go out and talk your business somewhere else. So what happens in there stays in there. And what I loved about that was, like, we need Bantabas here, like in our communities, because there's too many people having ridiculous arguments and beef with other people, or you don't even know why you're mad at somebody. Your friend was irritated with them, so now, by association, I'm irritated with you.
Right.
Or, but we call ourselves healthy. How can you be healthy holding resentment for anybody? How can you
tell her to get out of here right now. Why are you preaching to me? I think we need to get your ass on out of here.
Like, yeah.
Nah, you're right. You're absolutely right in so many ways. And I'm gonna thank you personally. This is just off record. Like, I mean, none of this podcast shit. Like, this is me personally thanking you, because I always wanted a defined definition of wellness from a person, not what Google gave, or the way you explained that made so much sense. It resonated with me in a way that when I go home, I'm gonna definitely think about that. And especially the people that I'm around. It's people that I'm around that, you know, when we're in front of people, we're cool, we do a show or whatever, but, you know, of course they call me, and it's like you're the elder. You kind of therapy everybody.
Right.
But one of my artists asked me, man, you look out for everybody. How are you doing? And I never get asked that.
Right.
I know a lot of people. You know what I mean? I can only count about 3, and Brett is one of them, and this artist, X, and I don't know, like, so look, good shit. Solutions: social connectedness, exercise, nutrition, sleep, and mindfulness. Each one has an impact on your physical and mental health. By making simple and healthy choices on a daily basis, you will be well on your way towards reducing stress, having positive social interactions, and achieving optimal wellness. How do you feel about that?
I agree with it all. Like I said, it's not a one aspect of your life. You are a whole person, and every aspect of your wholeness helps to define like where your wellness is at, right? And so, like you mentioned, like exercise, and I think people, like I said, it goes last like the water. I think people, we're water fasting, but I think people tend to, like you said, they go to Google and say, this is what wellness looks like. And then they say, for exercise, I have to do this, this, and that. No, you don't. Like, if you enjoy going to the beach and feeling your feet in the sand, okay, then you walk along the beach and you do that. You don't have to go in the gym and get on a treadmill. If you enjoy being out in the ocean, go ahead and paddleboard, go and kayak. And I think sometimes we also have to eliminate the boxes that are placed in us when it comes to the things that contribute to our wellness. Black people don't do this.
Right.
So we don't do it.
Right.
How do you know? I mean, we're the inventors of so many of these things.
I know, right?
You know,
like, how do you really know, though, right? And then you're blanking it for the whole race, like the whole race.
Yeah, you know, sleep is another one that I think I hear so many people be like, I have problems sleeping, and it's so important for your health. It's so important for you to revitalize, for your body to clean out the old and bring in the new. You know, and our habits are so poor in a lot of cases, or it's just that we don't know, or we start from a very young age. And I think it really does start young. You know, you say, oh, your kids have homework. Do your homework now, and you're going to stay up until you finish your homework. What are we teaching our kids, really? Right. That we should go to a job and work odd hours and forget your health, forget sleep, because you have to meet this deadline, right?
You know, when you hit 18, you're going to get the hell up out my house. That was the main
But that's not healthy.
My grandma didn't agree with that either.
No.
She said I would never do that with my daughter, and I wouldn't do that with y'all. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why either.
That's not
and
something
they made it a black thing.
to.
That's what's messed up about it. You get what I'm saying? They say that's what black people do. No. Because I don't hear other races say, oh, I know folks that's 30-something years old still in their mama house.
Right.
Not saying that's bad. I'm just saying, like, they didn't get taught that. When I got taught that at 11, and so you ain't got too much time.
But imagine the stress that you have as an 11-year-old. Like, I have to go out into the world and figure this out, and you have no clue what this world will chew you up and spit you back out. No, right? That's my life. Versus saying, hey, at 18, not even at 18, you should be having financial discussions with your kids from earlier on. But, you know, at 18, hey, we're going to go ahead if you're going to start working, right? Because you don't want to go to college. I have this fund that I was putting away for college. We're going to invest in the business for you. Right? Let's figure out if you need to get a trade. But when you're working at it, you're going to be at the house. Why would you need to stress about trying to find some place to live, trying to pay electricity? And no, stay here, and whatever you would have paid for rent, let's put that into account. Right. By the end of 2 to 3 years, you now have a down payment on your own place. Right. As a, you know, like you were like 21, 22, you have a down because your parents help to guide you, right? And even then, they may say you're still not mature enough to go live on your own, but you're still gonna buy this house and we're gonna rent it out with you. Right. So now you're gonna rent it out and you have income coming in from wherever you have coming in. Right. But this idea that I'm gonna kick you out at 18, I don't think many people are prepared at 18 to do anything.
Nah. It definitely turned me into a beast. Sorry, mama. You know, I keep it real on the air. Yeah, but because, damn, you just, at 11, you put it in your head. Yeah, that's, well, when I love music. So I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket. And then damn. That's Tefari, y'all. So we are going to in this segment. Because of everything you said, I'm going to leave my listeners with this. Remember that you are important. You're just as important as the people that you do care about. If you learn anything from this conversation that I had with Tefari, please remember that towards your health and wellness. You're just as important as the people you care about. We all care about everybody and want to give the best solutions towards them. But we forget about ourselves too. And don't even use the same advice towards ourselves that we give to somebody that ultimately helped them, that can help you, because you are a reflection of your friends. So remember, you're important. Shout out to Mercury X. You know I had to say it on the air. You're important. What up, Quang? We're going to leave it at that. Tefari, I thank you so much for everything that you taught us on air today.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you. This is TDOC. We're out.
So what you wanna do, dinner anywhere, let's take a flight. Or we could do something different since we used to the high life. Favorite meal whipped in the kitchen, let's Netflix and get high. You feel me?
Thanks for listening to the Doty Connection. Be sure to follow and subscribe whenever you listen to your podcasts. To read the blog associated with this episode, visit olismedia.com. This episode was produced in studios located in San Diego, California. Lena Alvarez is co-producer. Serving as executive producer and co-founder is JC Polk, and Chad Peace is president and co-founder. Olas Media is an IVC media company.
Olas Media.
Listen, people, life is very simple. Take it from me, producer of the Doty Connection. The prescription for a life well lived is a little music, a little knowledge, and of course, some great cannabis. Then everything else falls into place. Coal-fire extracts, along with the best in cannabis, brings you the Doty Connection with Mr. Wowzer. Tune in and get a piece of the good life. Go to olismedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts and prepare to get your mind blown.